I know what happened to my brother, and I've never told anyone. Throw away for reasons that will become obvious. I need to get this out because it's been 23 years and I can't carry it anymore. In the summer of 2002, my older brother Michael went missing. He was 19, I was 14. It was this huge thing in our town: search parties, news coverage, my parents on TV begging for information. They found his car abandoned at a trailhead about 40 miles from our house. No signs of struggle, no blood, no body. Just gone. The case went cold. My parents never recovered. My mom became a shell of herself, and my dad drank himself to death by 2010. I grew up in the shadow of a ghost. Every birthday, every holiday, every family event had this gaping wound in the middle of it. Here's what I've never told anyone. I know exactly what happened to Michael. 3 days before he disappeared, I was in his room looking for a video game he'd borrowed. I wasn't supposed to be in there, but I was 14 and bored. I found a shoebox in the back of his closet. Inside were dozens of Polaroid photos. They were disturbing, very disturbing. Pictures of local cats and dogs mutilated, dated over the course of about 2 years. There were notebooks too, detailed entries about watching our neighbors, particularly the younger kids in the neighborhood, plans, fantasies. Things I can't even type out here. I remember my hands shaking so badly I almost dropped everything. This was my brother, the guy who taught me to ride a bike, who helped me with homework, and I was holding evidence that he was something else, something wrong. I panicked and put everything back exactly where I found it. I didn't tell anyone, not my parents, not my friends, not the police. I was 14 years old and I was terrified and confused and I didn't know what to do. 2 days later, I saw Michael leaving the house late at night, around 2 a.m. I watched from my bedroom window as he put a backpack in his car and drove off. That was the last time I saw him. The day after he was reported missing, I went back into his room. The shoebox was gone. His computer was gone. A bunch of his clothes were missing. His savings account, which I later learned had about $8,000 in it, had been emptied the morning he disappeared. Michael didn't get lost on a hike. Michael ran. And I think I know why. About a week before he vanished, there was this incident in town. Someone tried to lure a 10-year-old girl into a car near the elementary school. She got away and told her parents, who called the police. The description was vague: white male, mid-20s, dark hair, driving a blue sedan. Michael was 19 but looked older. He had dark hair. He drove a blue sedan. I don't know for certain that it was him, but in my gut I know. And I think he knew the police would eventually connect the dots, so he ran. For 23 years, I've watched my mother cry herself to sleep holding his photo. I've watched her light a candle for him every single day. I've attended vigils and memorial services. When they finally declared him legally dead 7 years after his disappearance, I stood at his empty grave and listened to the priest talk about what a wonderful young man he was, how his light was extinguished too soon. I've Googled his name obsessively over the years, combined with different cities, different states, looking for any sign of him or crimes that match what I saw in those notebooks. I've found a few possibilities, unsolved cases that make my blood run cold, but nothing definitive. Nothing I could take to police without sounding insane or revealing what I knew. My wife thinks Michael's disappearance is why I'm so overprotective of our kids. She thinks it's trauma from losing him. She has no idea that I'm not afraid of them being taken. I'm afraid of them becoming something like what I think he was. I have nightmares about this all the time. In them, I'm 14 again, and I'm picking up the phone to call the police and tell them what I found. In the dreams, that phone call saves someone. Some kid who didn't have to be Michael's victim because I spoke up. Then I wake up and I have to live with the fact that I didn't make that call. The worst part is my mom. She's 71 now and still hoping he'll come home, still believing he's out there somewhere with amnesia or being held captive or lost and trying to find his way back. Last year she had a health scare, And as I sat in the hospital with her, she made me promise that if she dies, I'll keep looking for him. I promised her. I looked her in the eyes and I lied. What was I supposed to do at 14? Tell my parents their golden child was a monster. Show them those photos and notebooks. They wouldn't have believed me. Or worse, they would have, and it would have destroyed them right then instead of slowly over decades. But I'm not 14 anymore. I'm 37. I've had 23 years to come forward and I haven't. At first it was because I was a scared kid. Then it was because too much time had passed. Then it was because my dad was already destroyed and I couldn't do that to my mom too. Then it was because what evidence do I even have? The shoebox is gone. The computer is gone. It's just my word, my memory from over 2 decades ago. And if I'm being completely honest, there's a selfish part of it too. I have a good life. A wife who loves me, 2 beautiful daughters, a decent job. If I come forward now, what happens? Does it all fall apart? Do people look at me differently? Do they question why I waited so long? Do they wonder if I was involved somehow? I've thought about hiring a private investigator to try to find him, anonymously. But what if they do find him? What if he's living under a new name with a family of his own, and he's never hurt anyone else? What if those notebooks were just dark thoughts he never acted on, and he ran because he was scared of being falsely accused? Or what if he's done terrible things, and me finding him now just tips him off and he runs again? There are so many true crime shows now, so many cold case podcasts. Sometimes I wonder if someone will eventually cover Michael's disappearance and piece together what I've kept hidden. Part of me hopes they will, so it's not my decision anymore. I'm typing this at 3 a.m. because I can't sleep again. My daughter's school is doing a safety assembly tomorrow about stranger danger, and all I can think about is whether my silence put other kids at risk. Whether there's someone out there whose life was destroyed because I was too afraid to speak up when it mattered. I don't expect forgiveness or understanding. I know what I am. I'm a coward who chose the comfortable lie over the hard truth. I just needed to write this down somewhere, tell someone, even if it's just anonymous strangers on the internet. My brother's been gone for 23 years, but the secret of what he was and what I did about it has been eating me alive for every single one of those days. I don't know if I'll ever tell my family. I honestly don't know if I should, but I needed someone somewhere to know the truth. Edit, I'm reading the comments and I need to address something. Some of you are saying I should go to police now. With what evidence? My decades-old memory of photos I saw for 5 minutes when I was 14. They're going to ask why I waited 23 years. They're going to question everything. And for what? To reopen a case that went cold 2 decades ago with no new leads. Edit 2, to everyone messaging me saying I helped him get away with it, you think I don't know that? You think I don't live with that every fucking day? I was a child. I made a terrible choice and now I'm trapped in it. Edit 3, I'm logging off. This was probably a mistake. I thought getting it out would help, but I just feel worse.